Hello, everybody. It is your Uncle Fish back again for School Fish Art Stream. J-Man wants a Gatling gun on the end of his tail. Oh my goodness. J-Man says the tail's where you put all the heavy artillery. Damn. Said he used to have a howitzer on the end of his tail. Hello. Welcome. It is your ever-loving Uncle Fish back again for the School of Fish Art Stream. We are streaming live. Hopefully this time everything is working correctly. Let's give it an old check on the old phone there. Give it an old check-a-rooney. See if we're coming through. Yeah, it looks like we are coming through. We are available on the back kit page too, which is awesome. And we are going out on everything else, so that is cool. Anyway, hope everybody is doing well today. We had 3 awesome designs for Alice yesterday that we sketched out. We've got, let me show you what we got, because it doesn't do any good if I don't show you. That's just silly, old fishy. Why are you gonna do that? We've got this design, which I've got as version C in the poll on the Backer Kit campaign, which you can find now at gomrfish.com. Go check it out. This is Alice from the cover, which I'm perfectly fine with using this image. I think it's a great image. I think it's powerful. I think it's got lots of action. I think it's really cool. I like it. My only thought is, it might be cool to have something that's a little bit different and not exactly the same image that's on the cover, is my only thought. If this is the image that gets picked for the standee, then I will be doing a mirror image of it that has the back of her costume and her backpack and the back of her head. It'll be the same image, so when you turn the standee around, you'll see the back of her and all of that. So that's cool. I like that. I think that's pretty neat. That is option C. Option A is this cool standing Alice. And of course, this has her looking over her shoulder. So when you turn it around, it would be the front of her body and should, be looking over her shoulder. But anyway, so that is option A, a cool version of her standing there looking all cool and awesome. And then this is what I call the battle stance version of her, where she's ready for an actual fight. She's got the blade ready to cut somebody. She's got her gun out, and she's actually ready for a scrap. I wanted to have some pose of her that looked like she was actually really ready for a fight, and not just ta-da, I'm beautiful and dangerous, but she's legit dangerous. I want her to obviously be a threat. And yeah, she likes to use her outfit and stuff to, sneak past people's defenses and, get closer to the people that she's hunting. And, if her beauty makes you stupid, then all the better. But anyway, those are the 3 versions that we've got. Again, we got version A, standing Alice, version B, the battle stance, and then version C, the leaping Alice, which is pretty good. It might get the votes just because it's a finished piece of art, but the poll is open on the community page on the Alice Lost in Wonderland Backer Kit campaign right now, part of Comictopia, which is really awesome. It's got nearly 30 creators in there. Everybody is cross-promoted together. Everybody has a partner in there. So if you back their book and this person's book, you get extra stuff. The more things you back in Comictopia, the more cool swag you get. If you back 5 different books in Comictopia, you get a free Beautiful Corpse comic that has pages done by each and every one of us. And it's really cool. I was really excited to get to be a part of it. I love the way my page came out for it. Super excited to see how it all comes out. And I'm partnered up with a, let's say an adults only, a very not safe for work book from Kinky Carrot, Off the Beaten Path. I always have to think of the pun. Anyway, it's about a college girl's sexual awakening. You know the kind of thing that you're getting into with this book. Absolutely beautiful, amazing artwork. Like some of the most beautiful illustrations. It's a little cartoony style. It's beautiful. Absolutely. I was a huge fan of her work. Had to follow her on Instagram. Great stuff. If you sign up and get both of our books at the physical tier, um, let me open it up. Where is it? Only going to show it for a second. You will get this print of Alice Lost in Wonderland crossing over with her character from Off the Beaten Path, and you'll get a print of it from me and a sticker of it from them if you back both of our campaigns at the physical tier. And there's lots of other awesome books on there, like Granica is on there live right now from Sarah and the team over at Laguna Studios. I got to color that book, so I'm in this whole process twice, which is cool. Um, so anyway, that's all out there and available. You need to go check out Comictopia on BackerKit. It's really neat. I'm really glad to get to be a part of it. And so anyway, these are again, that's the version C for the Alice standee, the acrylic standee that we're going to do for an add-on for a backer kit. And then this is version B, her in a battle-ready stance, ready to go. And then her standing there looking all awesome for version A. And like I said before, everything is double-sided. So like this one has her back on this side, it would have her front on the other side. And, still looking over her shoulder. You get how front and back works. So that's what we got there. Now we are going to start working on sketches for Big Tin, the Tin Man from Alice Lost in Wonderland. Now, you might be asking yourself, the Tin Man's not from Alice in Wonderland. No, he's absolutely not. Because this is a crossover between all different dimensions. Like in this story, let me make myself bigger. Because I got to talk at you. I got to talk at you proper. I can't talk at you from the corner. I got to get up in here and talk at you. So in this story, Alice Lost in Wonderland, Wonderland is an interdimensional rift between worlds. And every place you've ever heard of in a story over the years is another reality, another dimension that's come crashing in together. And all of these places combine into one realm. Some people call it Neverland. Some stories call it Oz. Alice called it Wonderland when she was a kid. So that's what we refer to it mostly in the book. And so all those different public domain characters end up coming together in here. Like the Queen of Hearts is a criminal warlord of Glass City, which is a big giant, metropolis looking city. And you might be able to tell a little hint there. At one point, she went to war with Oz, the ruler of the Dwarven Kingdom in the Emerald City, which is actually carved out of a big, giant, solid wall of emerald. And she stole his tech. And so now she pretty much only communicates by holographic projections of her head to keep herself safe. When she needs to go talk to somebody, she usually sends an emissary carrying a hologram projector. And then this dude right here is the cobbler from the story of the cobbler and his elves. And his elves are these creepy little finger spider guys that can build whatever it is he needs built. And he is an interdimensional deal broker. And Alice and Big Tin are partners. Big Tin is her guardian and protector, follows her around, keeps her out of trouble as she's hunting Wonderland, hunting monsters and stuff for profit. She has to deal with interdimensional yokai and ghosts and spirits like Cheshire who can blend in and out of reality. She's got to deal with time-worshipping cultists like the Nexus Order here that are trying to capture her and the White Rabbit and use them for their evil plots. Lots of time traveling adventures, lots of multiversal stuff. Man, we got all kinds of monsters. We've got magical contracts. We got all kinds of awesome stuff in here. And so all these different worlds are crashing in together. So you can have the Tin Man and the Scarecrow and Sherlock Holmes and Frankenstein and Captain Ahab and all of these different characters come crashing in together in different roles in this story, which makes it really fun. And stories that I have been working on for 30 years, I now get to reapply through this filter of like, okay, wait a minute, who fits these roles? Oh, wait a minute, this character fits that role really well. And like I had one world in this multiversal travel story where the world had gotten so polluted that everybody had to leave the planet's surface. All the rich people left the planet altogether, and the people that were left had to string together like balloons and stuff out of scrap and try and live above the toxic clouds. And you don't survive very long at that altitude, exposed to the sun and everything. So the majority of people aren't very old. So most of these ships are crewed by children, and anybody who does make it past 20 pretty much like becomes a warlord or a pirate or something and is controlling, an area of the skies and makes everybody else work for them. And you're not going to live long because you probably got cancer by this point. But it was a fun place for some of the characters to go on adventures when they were young because there was a lot of children there, and children crewing their own ships, and they would they would hunt the depths of the cities below. They would drag hooks and stuff trying to catch stuff to pull it up to use for scrap or to build stuff out of. It's a fun story. It's a really cool world. I really loved the world. And then as we're mixing everything together and you got this place where there's no ground and you can never set foot off the ships and stuff, I realized how well that fit literally into Neverland. Like you can never land. There is no place to put your feet down. And all the ships are crewed by kids, and all the adults are pirates and stuff. It just fits so well, and all becomes part of this awesome interwoven tapestry. And I just love it. I'm super excited about it. And one of the main characters in the book is the Tin Man, Big Tin to Alice. And so we're going to work on some drawings for him. Long introduction to say pretty much nothing. Here we go. All right. Pull that up and let's see. Do we have the main image? No, I haven't pulled it in yet. All right. I'm going to go ahead and import his main image. Let's try. Can't remember which place I stuck his image. Okay, well, this will do for now. I don't know where the other one of them is, but I'll find it. So this is the mock-up of the acrylic standee image with the image we have of him from the front cover, jumping out of a big explosion. And again, that would make a really awesome standee, but I want to work on something else, something new, come up with some cool new artwork of him. And I'm thinking, like Alice, it would be nice to do one that is him just standing there in a cool pose. And one of the fun things about him is his character just kind of took on a life of his own as I was designing him. And he got this very sweet, kind of almost bumbling personality. And like as I was working on him, I took some ideas I had from other characters and put them together and like I had a silly idea for a character that was a giant walking tree at one point, and he was going to be traveling dimensions and stuff. Can you tell I have a theme that I really love? And um, he was going to wear a pair of glasses, a hat, and a scarf to disguise himself, so all the other bipedal species wouldn't realize that he was a big walking tree. And I decided to take that funny little mannerism and take that and add that to Ben 10 or Big 10, sorry, as I was working on him, working on the design and trying to figure out what he was going to look like. And adding that little silly thing to him, and then it's like, okay, he doesn't think anybody can tell that he's an automaton. He thinks this works. He thinks he's got everybody fooled. And that just kind of inferred more about his character and made him a much more interesting guy. And suddenly he became very kind and thoughtful, and is the kind of guy that stops and says hello to everybody as you're walking down the street. And the guy that, even if you're in the middle of a heist or something, would apologize for bumping into you. Like, he's a sweet guy. Where Alice can be very, and he makes a nice counterpoint, because Alice can be very brash and off-putting, and so having him be very nice is kind of good cop bad cop vibe. And so he's got this brass mustache and a pair of glasses and his scarf, and he thinks, boy, nobody can tell. He's got them all fooled. He's convinced of. And that just, helps make him kind of sweet. And it's been so much fun drawing all the weird little things that he does, like stopping to clean his glasses, even though he has no eyes to see out of. Which, being who I am, that led me to even like triple down on the idea. And I ended up giving him a sniper rifle for those jobs that he may need it for, that have lots and lots of like steampunk like lenses on it for magnification, so he can see a long way off, even though he doesn't have eyes, because I think it's funny. And that I love the fact that he would take it very seriously and would take very good care of this rifle and make sure the lenses are in perfect working order and stuff, so that he can, protect Alice, because he's sworn to protect her when she was a child and didn't realize she was going to grow up to be one of the most dangerous things in Wonderland. But, what are you going to do? You made a promise. Not like you could break it. He's too nice a guy to do something like that. Not old Tin. He wouldn't do that. You might do that, but Tin wouldn't do that. Tin, not TEN. Just FYI. Okay, and we'll have him holding his strap here to his sniper rifle. She's always got strung on his back, and it's got a lot of lenses on it and whatnot. And we'll give a little hint of his backpack that's on his back. Oh, look at that. We got a little friend popping in on us for a second. Yeah, hold on. Hold on one second. Let me figure out what screen my mouse is on. And we'll bring on old Sarah here. What's up, Sarah?
How's it going? I'm good.
Queen of Laguna Studios over there putting out books left and right. Putting out old Granica now.
I still have a big line on my face because I fell asleep on my couch face first.
She told me that earlier in a message. I laughed so freaking hard because, like, part of the reason that I struggle to do my art stream in the mornings anymore is because I wake up and I got such thick lines on my face from my CPAP machine that, like, the lights can kind of kill some of the color because it almost looks bruised in the morning because, of course, I sleep on my face. But, man, the lines are deep, and it takes till the afternoon till they're gone. I've started noticing it on people's TikToks where, like, you know, I can see the lines when they're talking where it's been pressed in.
Too bad you can't situate it so that it, like, the straps go over the beard so that it doesn't make the marks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I gotta have the one that comes like all the way up over here and gets my whole mouth because I can't breathe through my nose. So
I hear that. I don't know why you can't, but I can't. I got a deviated septum, like my whole. And I got the appointment to talk about that, and he's like, "Oh yeah, we could just fix that. That'll be real easy." And I was like, "So you're gonna break my nose?" I was like, "Technically, yeah." I need to think about it.
Yep. My dad said that I probably had one as a kid, but he didn't have the money for any surgery, so we weren't doing that. Mm-hmm. We did talk one time about getting me braces to fix my crooked teeth, and like that tooth drives me nuts because it sits behind all my other teeth. Mm-hmm. So because they're just crooked, but it sits cleanly behind the other teeth. So in a lot of photos, the shadow hits it just right, and it looks like that tooth's missing. And, it drives me nuts. Yeah. Vanity, you know, thy name is fish.
In America, we put way too much focus on the teeth stuff in particular. Like, other countries don't care about their teeth.
Mm-hmm. Well, not to the extreme way we do. And so he took me to look at getting braces, and when the dentist took the x-rays of my head, he was like, his jaw is way too skinny because I breathe through my mouth. So my tongue is always up because my mouth is open. I'm breathing through my mouth instead of my nose. So my jaw just kind of came in together. So all the teeth are jumbled up. He's like, we would have to break his jaw in 6 places to move everything out to where it's supposed to be. And he's like, and if he doesn't stop breathing through his mouth, it's all just going to go back to the way it was. So, you know, you can spend thousands of dollars and go through the surgery and stuff and do it just for it to go back, or you can fix his nose. And Dad wasn't going to fix the nose. So there we go. I got crooked teeth.
It's fine.
When my son got the opportunity to get his teeth fixed, and they were bad crooked, like, oh my God, they were bad crooked. We got those suckers fixed.
Yeah, that's fair.
Anyway.
Yeah, no, I had braces when I was younger, and it helped. Didn't fix, obviously, because my teeth are still a mess, but it helped some stuff. Like, I had 2 impacted teeth. It's a trait that's from my dad's side of the family, because a bunch of my cousins and my sister all had that same thing. And I was the lucky winner that had both of them stuck up there, and most of my cousins only had 1. And so that at least fixed that.
Genetics are funny. Me and my cousin Gumby both had like the tooth behind your canine on this side. I was looking in the camera. The tooth on this side. Um, we both had 3 teeth in that slot. Me and my cousin, and we're just distantly related. We didn't know we were related. We were friends for like 5 years before we found out we were cousins. Um, but we both had 3 teeth in that slot. My son wasn't born with one there, so oddly enough, like whatever caused the mutation, deviation, whatever, when it came out in his genetic random lottery of shuffle the cards and see what you get, he had no teeth in that slot, so they just kind of closed in and pushed together. But it's just
Wow.
weird, just weird. Anyway, I am working on some sketches of Big Ten for the Standee pole. Like we got the version from the cover, which looks cool and would make a fine Standee. That would be lovely. That's going to be one of the versions, and then I was thinking this standing version of him would be cool. Whoops. I grabbed the wrong tool.
Oh yeah, that one will be a cool.
Because
cool
I've got one version of Alice that I really like of her standing still. Like some of the other versions are like, this one has her in more of a ready to kick your ass pose, and I wanted to have her in like a legit fighting pose as one of them, and not just like, this one's kind of like ta-da fighting pose, like, it's cool, but like the other one's like she's really gonna kick your ass, and this one's
sure.
really cool for a shot of her flying out of an explosion on the cover. But I wanted to at least make one where she was legitimately threatened.
Katie's here.
Oh yeah? What is up, Katie?
Late night.
Man, I ain't heard from you in a hot minute. I'm glad to see you doing all right, or still kicking it anyway.
Katie got first backer on Granica.
Look at her go.
Right?
I did not. I didn't even realize they launched. For some reason, like we were talking about when your art stream was going to be, that you were talking about the launch of Granica.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I just flaked and I was like, oh, that's when the books are launching. I don't know why I took that as gospel. I guess I'm just so used to us launching on live streams that it didn't occur to me that it might not be going live right then.
Yeah, no, because of the event, the Comictopia event, Backer Kit launched everything, and it was just really weird to not have that control, wasn't it? Like it was just weird.
It is a little odd not being the one to do it, though. It takes a little bit of the stress off for me, but then it also leaves me just a little scared that I messed something up and it wasn't going to launch at all.
Yeah, same. And Backer Kit has if you schedule when your launch is going to happen, there's a way to make it just happen. I know that happened on a couple of ours because we just have done a few Backer Kits this year, and it happened. And then I don't know what I did on the D campaign, but it didn't launch live, and I had to hit the launch button, which was fine. But yeah, like that's a little awkward, and a little like I said, with this one there's no control because it was the part of that event. But
yeah, because they all launched at the same time.
Yeah,
and all end at the same time unless you keep getting bids on your stuff.
Right. And who knows if that's going to happen. That'll be curious. See how many people end up in overtime mode. Yeah.
All right. So what should we do for the other scene of Big Ten? We've got one of him leaping from the explosion, hat about to get blown off. And then we've got one of him just standing there posing with his sniper rifle on his shoulder and looking all Western sheriffy. The other one of Alice is her in a straight up fighting stance. almost want to do something of Big Ten being like really sweet because where she's like really aggressive, he's like he just has come off as it just evolved as I like once I threw on the mustache and the glasses and stuff, he just took on a personality of his own and now he's just this sweet dude and I just love him.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, maybe you can have him like crouching down picking flowers or something. I don't know.
I had thought about something like that or like, smelling flowers or like
The
I don't
kitty.
know. What is up, J Man?
Hey, J Man. Hey, it's J Man's birthday today.
It is J Man's birthday. All day long. Happy birthday. We're so glad you came. Happy birthday from the Mr. Fish and Laguna gang. We're so excited. We hope that you are too. Happy birthday from the comic crew. I gotta finish it now that I started it. It's like saying Beetlejuice, you can't just like get part way in. You gotta finish. That's gonna eat at my brain now. It's gonna eat at my brain. I'm trying to make myself stop, but it's really bugging me. All right, J Man. Since you're a man of action, it's your birthday. Let's get your input on this, okay? This is one of the versions of Big Ten for the acrylic standee option on the backer kit campaign that I'm going to do. This is going to be option C for sure. And then we've got a version of him just standing there, looking cool with his sniper rifle on his shoulder. And so where should we go from there? For Alice, we've got her standing there with her sword on her shoulder, which is harder to do than you would think when her sword is broken in half and it's so short. And then we've got a version of her all battle ready to kick some butt and take some names. And then the same image from the cover of her leaping out of the explosion, looking all cool, which is cool and action-packed and all that stuff. Probably will be the one that gets picked just because it's a finished image. But what do you think, J-Man? What do you think we should do? Any ideas for the pose? You're welcome, man.
Katie said happy birthday too, but you probably can't see it. But yeah, there you go. Yeah, because y'all are on two different platforms watching. I started making supper, and I think my job got taken from me now. I heard the beeper go off, and Jeffrey went over to take care of it.
I thought you were gonna say I heard the fire alarm go off.
Oh, you guys would all hear the fire alarm go off if it did. So thankfully, no, that's not what happened.
J-Man, he says he likes all of them. I need to come up with one more design, so I need an idea.
I think if you want to make Big Ten look gentle, having him crouch down doing something would be a really good way to do it. Yeah, like petting a kitten or picking some flowers or something.
Oh man.
Collecting rocks. I don't know.
I just thought like an image of him with like young Alice on his shoulders would be really awesome.
Oh yeah.
But then like if you stand them together, that's like her now and then him and her then. Like they don't make as good a pair that way, but that would be really sweet.
Yeah.
I don't
maybe
know.
You could do that as a sticker or something, because
yeah,
it's a good idea, but yeah, maybe not for the acrylics.
Yeah, that would be a cool sticker. So, all right, let's see. I mean, I guess I could do him crouch down, and that would...
J-Man has a suggestion.
Like the Pulp Fiction pose, like John Travolta and Sam pointing their guns. Now, see, that was the other thing that I thought about, because there's a scene in let's see if I got something I can cover up the bottom half of that with Well, you can't see me like that. You can't see that. Let me maximize. There's a scene where Alice breaks all hell loose, and I can't show the bottom of it out of fear, uh, but he's guarding her with both guns, and I thought about doing that scene. So since it's J-Man's birthday, we'll do that one, and we'll make that option B. And there's lots of sweet Big Ten in the book. Well, maybe that'll be the standee in the next campaign. All right. So we'll have him in the old Texas standoff, Mexican standoff type pose. So how's things going on the Granica campaign?
On the Granica campaign, we have 63 backers, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And we are just shy of $1,400 of our $7,500 goal, so not too shabby.
Awesome.
I haven't checked yours in a bit. How is yours doing?
Mine is 1,100. We're at 47 backers.
Ooh, so you're really close to your goal, aren't you?
Yeah.
We have a. I noticed that our goal amount is kind of in the middle. Like there's some Comictopia projects that have pretty, have 5-figure goal amounts, and then there was one who literally his goal was $50, and
which I mean that always gives you the get it hit early, but then I've also I've had some people do really great with that. The one campaign where I set mine low, everybody's like, "Oh, okay, we hit it," and then it was like pulling teeth after that.
Yeah, I think that this, if I remember right, has a $50 goal amount because it's all digital rewards, which makes it super easy. Like you don't have to raise the money to print books, which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. I'm curious to see how that does, because like the one campaign I was on that tried to do all digital didn't end up hitting its funding goal. And I thought it was a no-brainer. It wasn't that expensive. I thought it was going to be a big hit, but apparently everybody else didn't agree with me.
I am looking for that campaign because I'm curious now about how much.
That's a good idea, Jay, man. Far. I should do that.
Oh, they've got $850 on there, so yeah, not bad. I have noticed for sure. I've been wanting to try Backer Kit since seeing, how many great tools it had with y'all using it, and being able to live stream and set up polls. I would have given anything to be able to do polls on my Kickstarter campaigns like that. I've been wanting to do stuff like that forever, and so when I saw that they had options like that, it was a no-brainer. I was going to do one eventually and give it a shot. And then getting to be a part of this was just, well, yeah, we got to take that shot, take advantage of that when it comes, and try out a new campaign and have Backer Kits help setting everything up and cross-promoting and they're so helpful. They set up that Discord just for Comictopia people to come in and ask for help, and they Lafayette did Backer office hours, so you could just jump in a live not a live stream, but a video call and ask all the questions that you had. And they're running ads. I think it depends on how we're doing, I guess. We might run some ads towards the end of the campaign, but I don't know. I mean, because obviously they're not free, and we have to decide whether or not we want to do that. If we're not to gold yet and we've only got a week left, we might do that. But I don't know. But just the fact that Backer Kit's running all these ads on our behalf is pretty cool, because we can get people to come look, and then maybe they'll click on ours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was too good an opportunity to pass up, and There have been a whole lot of things I've loved about it, like having them look over our pages and give like legitimate advice about like, oh, this could be better. Maybe adjust this. Maybe make sure that the font on this image is readable on a cell phone, which I didn't take into consideration. I was just thinking about monitors. Absolutely great advice. The hunt for rare movies is sort of picked back up for me. It's been dry for a while, but I found a few in the last 2 weeks. Good deal.
Nice.
But getting that input was amazing. Like I've never actually talked to a real person at Kickstarter for all the campaigns I've been a part of. It's never been an option.
Yeah, that's I don't know. I guess we can email, and I'm presumably talking to a human when they reply back, but it always is, for me anyway, always kind of automated sounding.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if it's actually a person or if they're just copy and pasting and changing out the, insert name here for me.
Yeah. Like I said, I've never gotten anything but an automated response from, I've always just been dealing with an app when I've worked there or, been dealing with anybody on a Kickstarter. I think Lori was the first person I ever talked to that like had somebody's actual email and could talk to somebody at Kickstarter, and I was shocked. I was like, I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, and I think if I remember right, she really had to really be the squeaky wheel to get that to happen in the first place, because they don't want to just have that available to everybody, which is fair.
Yeah, I could see it.
But it's just having. I mean, Backer Kit's got a pretty small team yet, so it's really cool that they can still do that. Because like I understand Kickstarter's so huge now. It makes sense that they can't have one person just dealing with people all day long. Like they'd never get any work done, right? But
yeah, and I'm sure Backer Kit probably can't for every situation. But Comictopia being special, it was nice to come in that way and at least, get to know some people. So if I ever did have a question, at least I have some idea of who I could try to ask and maybe get some actual help on something or advice on how to improve or whatever. Like I'm open to whatever. Yeah. But I've really enjoyed that, and I've been really impressed with the number of new backers that I've gotten. I haven't got as many I haven't gotten as many of my regular backers on yet as I normally would have by this point, but I do have a lot of new backers that I didn't have before. Though I did realize a couple of them are using different screen names over here, so I had to like account for that. But still, there's a whole lot of new people on here that have never backed my stuff before, and that's an awesome thing Backer Kit can do. Is like being able to message my former backers on Kickstarter, being able to tell me where people came from, where they got into. I've been enjoying everything about it.
It's really fun. And that different backer or different username thing is super annoying because I didn't take that into account. We had the Art of Ian Richardson was still running for about a day into the Granica campaign, so we did this little promo where like if you back both of them, we'll give you this cute little sticker. And I verified at least 6 people did that, but I can't verify all of them until the end of the Granica campaign because I need to be able to cross-reference more than just their screen names. And I realized it by noticing that somebody had a name that was similar, and I was like, is this the same person? Oh shit, I think it's the same person. I can't just, because I thought, it would be really easy to cross-reference, and then obviously we have to wait till the end of the campaign to make sure nobody drops their pledge, because they're not getting the sticker if they drop their Granica pledge. But so I still have to wait till the end anyway. But it would have been nice to be able to get that taken care of immediately, so that I didn't have to think about it once. I could just put notes in everybody's campaign page or everybody's backer pledge pages.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not happening.
J-Man asked a really interesting question. How many character designs did I scrape until I got, or scrap, either way, until you got to the right one for him? Big Ten took a couple more tries than normal for me to get his look right. And I tried several. I knew some of the things were fundamental in the way he was going to look. Some of them just were baked in from the time I first had the idea. Like, I knew he was going to have a big chest, and I knew his head was going to be, shaped like a pencil eraser. And I knew those things for sure. Now, for a long time, his head was going to have all kinds of intricate cutouts in it, because originally, and still really, if you want to be honest about it, the idea behind him was that he was designed by like Michelangelo, because he liked to build automatons and stuff that would do cool things, or Leonardo da Vinci, sorry. Got my turtles wrong. And so originally, like, he was going to have all these intricate, like, cutouts and filigree designs. And then on the inside, if my computer will save, you would see all the gears and machinations and stuff inside his head going, and actually see that he was an automaton inside of there, and it was going to be all ornately designed and have all these intricate flowery rib looking cutouts inside of his chest. Like, this was what I envisioned in my head when I first came up with him. And originally he was going to be a very bitter character. Eventually he was going to start out sweet and kind, and like Leonardo built him. He was sentient. He took him around and showed him, to all of the Renaissance, and they all thought he was amazing, and he was welcomed into kingdoms and stuff, as an emissary, and he's this wonderful new being. But then the Dark Ages and everything fall, and then he becomes a monster, and he became the beginning of the Frankenstein, legend of this, monster somebody had built that was terrifying. And eventually he has to hide from people and start pulling the strings from behind the scenes. But over the centuries, he amassed a lot of wealth and power, and kind of came to hate humanity in the original story idea. And, over time, the time traveler character from this story was going to keep interacting with him at different points in history and see how much he changed over time, and how bitter he got over the years, and how detached he grew from humanity, because he realized he was never going to be one of them, yada, yada, yada. So that was originally the idea, and part of why he didn't have a face, because I wanted him to feel kind of cold, and so that was a big part of the original design of him. But those were the only things that I had set in stone. And then the more I thought about it, and the more, nearly 6 years of experience drawing comics every day has told me, I don't want to have all of those shapes in there that I have to draw a billion times. So that part got scrapped from his design, just for making it easier to draw him and making it easier to read who he is. Because when there's a lot of really complicated stuff to draw, that's fine when they take up the whole page. When they're that big on the page, it's really hard to draw all those little pieces and still make it look right. Like, where do you start leaving stuff out? It's a hard balance to hit. And so anyway, I played around with his shape one day, and admittedly, I played around with this for maybe 2-3 hours before I nailed it down one day. And I tried making him big and tank-like, and giving him big arms up here, and then I tried giving him skinny legs and big feet, and I tried giving him really skinny arms and big forearms, and I tried all kinds of different things, balancing it out. I tried making them asymmetrical. I even went back to some older designs that I had and sketched them out. Like, in high school, I had this character that I used to draw all the time that was like, as stupid as it was a robot skeleton, a clockwork robot skeleton. And I thought of it when I was high one day, and he may make an appearance at some point somewhere, but he always had a big targeting thing on one eye and a big thing on his back, and then just like exposed bones for his upper arms and his thigh bones, and then big giant honking metal hands and feet. I actually made a stop motion puppet of this guy years ago, and which was easy because like everything on him was hard, so it didn't have to be a lot of moving parts. So as long as I had like wire I could bend for his fingers and stuff. So like, I had drawn this character 1,000 times on 1,000 different things. So I even went back to that design and thought maybe I would change that and use that, and kept playing with it. And then I thought about one of the episodes of Katie's drawing show, and she was talking about how many different styles of armor there are, and we keep drawing like the same kind of shoulder armor over and over again on characters and never change it up. And so I searched for like medieval armor, and one of the pieces that I saw was shaped essentially like that, and would come up and tuck in around the head, and protect you from blows this way and whatnot, and help them ricochet off down this way. And once I took the that idea of that shoulder and applied that to his big body and his cylindrical head and added that on there, it all kind of just fell together after that. And I was like, okay, if that part's big, then I'll make this part skinny. And then I literally added like the elbow pieces from another piece of armor. And then I decided, because I had played around with a lot of different ideas, and I had already hit on like cowboy ideas at this point, and had thought about maybe putting him in chaps. So putting him in chaps and giving him gloves, and there we go. Then I just played around for a minute. I ended up with the scarf and the vest, and if you're going to have all that, you need to finish it off with a hat. And being who he is and all, I thought a big stiff hat with a stiff brim, no cool shaping or anything to it, just a very flat, like, I bought it at the store and this is the way it is, was cool. And then, stole the glasses and stuff from the other character, and there we go. We ended up with it. So that is literally in real time about how I came up with the idea. I sketched out probably 15, 20 different looks for him as I was trying to nail it down. until I got to that. But that's the Cliff Notes version of how I got there.
It's kind of fun hearing about the process of how a character comes to life.
Speaking of, I'm curious with you with the Granica project, since I'm the colorist on that, and the artist did. I'll say it again, the artist did a really good job on that. Um, how did y'all do character designs? Like, did you spend a long time working on it? Did he just figure it out on the page? Like, it feels like he had it nailed down before he started the pages because it's super consistent.
Yeah, we actually started with a different artist in the beginning, and then when that artist had to back out because of personal stuff, you know, it happens. And before that happened, he had done some character designs, which I loved, and the creator Brian loved.
Thank you.
And then the original artist had to back out, so we went on the hunt for a new artist. And when we found Kelson, we were like, do you want to see the new stuff? Because, like, we want to know what you, like, we're going to give you the script, you read it, and then we want to know what you think the character looks like. Because I had, in the process of adapting the script, I had purposefully removed any description of the character that Brian had added into to his original radio play. And with the exception of the one character being very, very tall. His name's Jerry. The guy in the comic is named Jerry. He's extremely tall. There's a whole thing with him. I don't want to get into it right now because that's a little spoilery too. Jerry's tall. He's very tall. And so we said that he has to be very tall. And the rest of it, what do you want? What do you think he looks like? And so Kelson took a few days and came back, and then came back with.
Thanks so much for coming back.
Hello again. Gensai is very quickly becoming our #1 fan.
Someday they'll have a toy line.
Yeah, Big Tin needs to be a toy.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He needs to be an action figure. So like, and that's what Kelson had come up with was actually I don't know. I think I want to save the original character sheets for the trade when we get to make the trade. And I want to show everybody that Ness, the main character of book 1 here, actually kind of evolved since the original character design. They all did, of course, but it's really cool to see, and definitely I don't actually even understand what exactly happened, because the thing about Ness is their hair kept getting bigger. and you being the colorist and me being the flatter, it was probably easier for you then at that point, right? Because I had to draw around all of those freaking little curls that Kelson had drawn, and I was like, why did you do? I thought it was amazing right up until the part where I started flatting and I had to get to that to do that hair, and I was like, no, this is a terrible idea.
Oh yeah, I'm like, oh, this is such a great idea as I'm drawing like thousands of little characters in the background, and then when I have to turn around and send that like to my flatter, I'm like, oh, that was a terrible idea.
She's gonna be so mad at
I'm gonna have to pay her extra.
Yeah, I actually got pretty fast at it by the end there, but yeah, that was a little bit of an annoyance, and I kept reminding myself, it's gonna look amazing. This is amazing. The extra details are, because especially considering the whole thing takes place, almost the entire book takes place in a single room of a spaceship. So the backgrounds got boring. Like the backgrounds are boring, and it's meant to be like a kind of a hotel room kind of thing. If you read the description of the our plot synopsis or whatever, I don't know what that's called. the teaser part of the campaign, to try and get people interested without being too spoilery. But that excuse me. That was, they're gonna be on a boat. It's called a houseboat, but it's basically just a glorified spaceship, a glorified hotel room in a tin can. And so, hotel rooms are bland, and they're meant to be. And that's what we had for working for a background. So it makes sense to keep the characters a little more visually interesting too. And Ness is like I said, Ness's hair kept getting bigger, and the kids, the children in there changed quite a lot. But basically we just basically both said, tell us what you think the character looks like, and Kelson came back with this, and we were both like, perfect, that's what we want, exactly. I had no real expectations for the look of the character. I did really like the original that the first artist drew, but that being said, this one is really good. It's not better or worse than the first one, it's just different.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's nice to give the artist that kind of ability to have that kind of input in it, because that just breeds, being invested in it, because you got to have a hand in designing the look, and gives you a little bit more, like I say, investment. Like it gives you that little bit of, these are a piece mine too, and not just you handed me a finished look and a finished design, and I'm just, stamping it down on paper for you. It's a little bit my baby too, and that, that's only gonna encourage even better work, and want to make them look
said
cool.
He's missed a few Laguna Kickstarters, and that's totally fine. We'll still hook you up with the book when you're ready to come back. All the stuff that you missed, if you want to catch up, don't worry about it. We'll take care of it. And shit happens. You got to deal with your family stuff first. You got to deal with whatever you get. I know there's been times where a flat tire has been a crisis for me. So,
oh man,
and you can't buy stuff. So I get it. I don't even know why. I mean, yeah, I do. You told me why your dad was sick, right? Yeah, no, you had a good reason. And even if you don't have a good reason, you're never obligated to buy our books. It's fine. And when you're ready to grab them and catch back up, we'll have them for you. It'll be there. You know what? I'm getting dirty looks. I better go make that food, and then I'll be back. All I have to do is I got everything ready, and all I have to do is I make it pork chops, and I gotta put them in the oven. I gotta shake them up with the seasoning mix, and then I gotta put them in the oven. That's literally it, and I'm not doing it. So I'll be back.
I'll be here.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody understands. Things happen, things come up. And sometimes just, not every single campaign is our cup of tea. That's fine too. Absolutely gonna happen. I was just talking today with some folks on Facebook. I was like, about how many times I back a book just because I like the creator, not because I'm super excited to read that book particularly, but if it's another superhero book, I'm not in a big hurry to read it, because there's a lot of superhero books out there, and I'm already reading the superhero books that I'm super excited to read. I did not know they made a new Defenders of the Earth comic book. I did just see that they are making a new Human Fly comic book about the actual Human Fly Daredevil that Marvel did a comic book about in the 70s. I'm super excited that they're doing that. Canadian stuntman. Tried to make a name for himself for a little while there, but I loved his comic books so much. And a Canadian company just got the chance to, absolutely, the algorithms will kill you. They got the rights or something. I was talking to the guy that's doing it the other day. I got so excited I had to message him because The Human Fly is one of those books that I look for at every single con that I go to. And usually I just get a lot of weird looks about who's the human. You mean the fly from, you know, Carlton or whatever. I was like, no, no, no. Marvel's Human Fly. No, I don't think that was a thing. It was a thing. I have most of them. But just one of those weird things that I dearly love. Gotcha Man has a comic book right now. I have a couple copies up in my pull at the comic book shop. That's cool. I have to check that out. I know they did a movie not long ago. I saw animation from it where like Gotchaman and a whole bunch of those other old school animes. I don't remember if it was Gigantor or what, but like a lot of those old things were crossing over, and it looked so cool. And it was like really well made, so I didn't think it was a fan made piece. It was really professionally done. It was a fan made piece. Well, I'm a fan. I guess I need to get back onto doing my School of Fish art stream in the mornings because I don't ever get to hear from Katie anymore. My Katie interactions have dropped by a solid 98%. That's just no account. Nobody's sending me weird pictures from their walks in the morning anymore. How will I know what interesting weird things and textures you've stumbled across on your walk? I always look forward to see just how weird the next texture was going to get. And a lot of those textures ended up in books. I've built some brushes off a couple of those. Yeah. Katie says that Facebook just doesn't tell her what I'm doing anymore. And I will admit, to a point also, I have not been on Facebook as much anymore. My posts are getting more regular now because I got a startup social media management group to help me get my posts scheduled and stuff for me. So I can just make the stuff and they can schedule it and get it out on time because I'm bad about that. I'm bad about making a whole bunch of posts and having them ready to go for like the week and then forgetting that I made any of them and not posting them. I'm real bad about that. If anybody watching, just let you know, all Fish and I are big time Flash Gordon Masters of the Universe fanboys. Absolutely. 100%. I would appreciate that, Katie, because like I said, some of them have ended up in brushes and whatnot. I've been thinking about I was just thinking the other day because I keep going back and forth between the tablet that I normally work on, Microsoft Surface Pro, that I normally do all my illustration on, and this computer in here where I've been streaming more often again lately. It's been a while. So because of that, I've had to like load some brushes up from one computer to the other. And I was thinking I need to put some of those up on my Patreon as a free download and help encourage some people to come check it out and maybe subscribe and get a comic every month. Just $10 a month, or sign up for $5 a month at Digital Tier and get a brand new digital comic every month. Yeah, that's been part of the problem is I haven't been on Facebook itself as much. I've been putting more of my effort into TikTok because I get more interaction and stuff on TikTok, but even now that's not that great. Now that I don't have anything in my shop right now, because I just got in, um, I just got in 2,000 books from the Mighty Call, and I got Call 1 through 4. I got 2,000 copies in the other day, all piled up in my closet, except for some books to fulfill the Kickstarter. Hopefully this week I'm going to get most of the Kickstarter packages out. There's a couple of add-ons that I still have to wait to get in, but I can get everybody else's shipped out. And so I've been trying to get all that done, but I sold out of a whole bunch of stuff. Like I had sold out of issue one of the Mighty Caw. I had sold out of issue one of Green Zone, so I had to order a restock of that, and it's on its way. Um, so I've been sitting around waiting, and my shop has been closed. So that's really taken a dive on my TikTok interactions because I can't be posting stuff for sale and have TikTok pushing that. But and I could put all these call books that I have up there for sale now and start making some money today. But the man that I am, I don't feel right putting books up for sale and like say shipping out a TikTok order tomorrow if J Man's copy of Call isn't going to go out until Tuesday or Wednesday. I can't do that. I have to ship out the Kickstarter backers first before I'm shipping out to anybody else. So they pay for it, they get it first, and so it's going out to them. And just my little OCD thing, and I got to get the book shipped out. I need to get everything that I can get shipped out this week because I have a con next weekend, and I need to be able to sell Call at that con because I need to make the money back for the con. So I got to have the book shipped, at least the majority of them. There's a couple of things that I might have to wait on a couple that ordered books that I ended up selling out of during the campaign and didn't realize. But for the most part, everything is done and ready to go. Everything is looking good. Just wanted to show y'all since it's just us. Got the variant covers. Got the Caw 3 variant cover by Seth DeMoose there. And got the Caw 4 Seth DeMoose cover right there. It looks so awesome. I got to color it, but man, his artwork is so, I love it so much. And these are so bright. I absolutely wanted to make these the main covers for these books because I like it better than my own artwork but I don't feel right putting somebody else's artwork on the main cover of my book that I'm going to be selling at cons all over the country. I don't, it feels like a bait and switch to me. It feels like back in the day when they put a Jim Lee cover on, a Marvel book, and then they'd have Jim Lee do the first page, and then they would have him pencil like the next 2 or 3 pages, and it always felt like a ripoff. So I can't do that. But I would have loved to use these covers from Seth DeMoose as the main covers, but again, ripoff. And then this is the RJ Septimus Virgin print variant covers that we did as the crossover when we both hit goal. And I did a cover for him and he did a cover for me. And that just came out awesome. And this right here, this is my argument against AI art, because a lot of writers are like, well, I can't afford to hire an artist. It's too expensive. I can't do that. Just let me make my comics in peace. RJ couldn't afford to hire an artist either. So he sat down and taught himself how to draw. And that was like maybe 8 months before he drew this awesome cover of Caw. And I mean, look at that spaceship and the explosion and the planet and the outer space. And he did such an awesome job on this. His book is so fun and so cool. And The first book, the first issue definitely has a rougher vibe to it, as he's his very first thing that he ever drew, and took him a minute to figure it out. And it has more of a like '90s zine feel to it. But his second book is really good. I know all kinds of people that would hire him to illustrate their book, and it looks great. I can't wait to see where he goes from there. And he just like, screw it, I'm gonna teach myself, and he did it. So no excuse. If you want to do it, you can figure it out. How you doing, Sarah? Pork chops in the oven?
They're in the oven, and I told him if he wants to pull them out and start eating without me, that was fine. But I don't think that will be that big of a that late running. So
no,
it'll be fine.
I mean, I tightened up the one sketch quite a bit, so I probably need to tighten up the other one too, because that wouldn't feel right now if I don't, if one was tighter than the other, and I'd be convinced they were voting for one just because I took another pass at it. So, all right, let's.
Well, it's not like you can't use that art for other things. So
oh yeah,
you might as well make it nicer.
I am loving sticker sheets, man. I am absolutely loving them. I went ahead and made a sticker sheet for the Alice campaign. I don't know if I'm going to release it later, or like I thought about using it as a stretch goal or something at some point. I'm not sure. I need to go back and look and make sure I didn't put it down as a milestone or something.
That's fair. So we were talking about that thank you tier.
Mm-hmm.
On there, I noticed that I switched it. I switched mine to you had added yours a thank you tier, and then I switched mine to say thank you or build your own package. And I don't know if you got any backers, but I got another backer out of that.
I haven't looked.
I was just looking now.
My price went up a little bit today, so maybe I did.
I mean, it's not gonna hurt anything. That's why. And I thought, well, I guess on the first day, not yesterday, the first day, I put that up because I had a couple of creators. It was totally unrelated to the Comictopia people, but a couple of creators that want to support, and they're like, well, obviously we can't support for even the cheapest tier gets to be too expensive if you're trying to support 15, 20 every single month.
Oh man.
Well, Kickstarter adds that.
You got that.
One thing Kickstarter does is it adds that $1 support us just because.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought, and I didn't even think about it until, gosh, who was it? Aaron Woblorski. How the hell do you say his last name? Woblorski. The guy from England. I know there's the Aaron from England. The Enenra guy.
Aaron from England. There's only the one.
It's just one, right? And everybody knows who that is. The Enenra guy. Yeah, him. He made Enenra. And he's like, oh, you should add that. And I was like, oh shit, yeah, that's right. They don't just put it on there on backer kits. So, and it's a really good idea because it makes it easier for creators to support without going bankrupt.
Mm-hmm.
Because I want to support everybody, and I have to be selective. But if I can just support for $1, and then also it sends emails out to your backers that you supported this other comic, and then maybe some of your backers will go there, and that's really what I'm hoping for by getting that, is that I can add that, and then other comic creators can add that, so that I can go back at that, and then it'll tell it'll tell my followers,
like,
hey, go back this comic.
Check this book out.
Yeah.
Like, I've been getting all kinds of notifications about Lori back.
Yeah. To be fair,
right
that was
now with
probably
the
me.
Comictopia going on. Probably is.
Well, she's there, but I'm definitely being because this is my project. This Granica's my baby. And she, she's supportive there, but like I did most of the stuff because it's you know how it is. Like, can you imagine somebody else taking over anything for Alice? I can't imagine you'd want to lose that kind of control. And so that's where I'm at. I was like, this is mine, and I have 2 books.
You want it, you can have it. I just want to draw books.
Okay, that's fair.
I want to stay in my little hidey hole and draw books, and
that's
fair. If I could play video games one day, that would be nice.
Also fair. I kind of get the best of both worlds with Jeffrey plays video games, and I can just watch if I want to, but I can also sit there and work on stuff while that's playing, and just selectively pay attention. It's not quite the same as playing it yourself, but it's
not. But honestly, like when somebody plays it better than you, like forever watching my kids play Spider-Man was more fun than them giving me the remote to play for 20 minutes when I don't know how to do anything, and I don't know, like they're on an advanced level and I don't know any of the skills or muscle memory for the controls to do that. Now that I have my own PS4, finally I got a PS4. Tells you how much I play video games. Now that I finally got one and can play it for myself, I've learned the controls and now it's more fun. It was never a lot of fun for them to just give it to me when they're at the end of the game, and I'm just getting wailed on at that point. And they're like, "Oh, well, you just have to hit this button and this button and this button and turn that way and do this," and I'm not picking that up that quick. But watching them play it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I do like watching other people play. Watching other people play is how I started playing myself. Like, I wasn't into video games at all for years. Like, my parents wouldn't let me have a damn Nintendo or Sega or nothing. We couldn't have anything. And then I just wasn't that into them. And then my roommate's boyfriend brought his Xbox over and started playing Oblivion, Elder Scrolls Oblivion. And then at first I was completely uninterested, but I kind of started to notice stuff and ask questions. And then one day, everybody, they were both gone. My boyfriend was gone. I was totally alone. And so I was like, you know what? Screw it. And then I ended up playing for like 4 hours. And nobody was there. And they came back and they're like, I thought you didn't like video games. I'm like, I was bored. Y'all left me by myself. What was I supposed to do?
You didn't know. Nobody ever told me they were so cool. I dig them. My problem is I get way too into them. And then, like, I'll look up and 2 or 3 days have gone by. And I haven't accomplished anything other than, sitting there grinding away at whatever the game is. And now that I draw comics for a living, I can't do that. When I was stuck in a wheelchair and, couldn't see out of both eyes at the same time, much less walk, talk, or see every day, didn't really matter if I blew 3 days playing a video game. Now that I got to pay the mortgage and stuff by drawing comics, I can't do that. Got to know where you're strong and know where you're weak.
Yep.
And so, like I would totally just get lost playing Batman, Arkham Adventure, Arkham Knight, or Arkham what have you, and not come up for air for a couple of days and not even think twice about it. So I don't do that anymore. Now I gotta be much more controlled about it. Though, oddly enough, my shrink at one point did prescribe me playing video games because I don't really do anything to relax. I just work all day.
Yeah, that's fair.
And so I try to, when I can, I try to find time to fit in a little bit on a weekend or something, or like if I can't sleep because I'm stressed out about a new crowdfunder launching or whatever, I might play in the middle of the night.
Did you notice? I am browsing the Comictopia stuff while we're chatting here, and I just noticed that it's playing this live stream right on the Comictopia page.
Oh, that's
Go
awesome.
to the Comictopia page that's right at the top there.
That's cool. You would think we'd get more views, but
no kidding. Well, to be fair, it is Saturday, and people with actual social lives probably aren't home.
I don't understand these words that you say.
I know, it's
What
weird,
is this,
right?
a life you have on social media, or it doesn't make sense.
J-Man said that he watches more movies on his PS4, PS5. So, like, more movies than playing games, or do you not play games at all? That's... I used to be like probably 60-40 watching movies versus playing games on my Xbox 360 back when I had that. And then I decided to watch Hotel Transylvania, and the disc tray stopped popping out, and it got my disc stuck. And I ended up getting... I think I ended up having to just throw it out, and I couldn't even get the disc out, which in retrospect was silly, because if I was going to throw away the machine anyway, I could have just broken it apart and gotten my disc back. But how much could it possibly cost to buy a new copy of Hotel Transylvania? Like, what, $5?
Mm-hmm.
You play games, but not hours of it anymore like you used to. Yeah, I think I could get lost for a whole day if I sat down to play, but it's too hard to spend hours and hours on it and just really immerse yourself in the game anymore. I don't know if that's because I'm getting old. Is that why?
That's probably part of it. I know it is for me. I mean, I could do it, but I've got too much responsibility and stuff now. I can't just blow that time. It's all right. We've got design A here wait a minute, something's missing. Okay, that's what's going on. Get on the right page. Needed the bottom of his gun down there, bottom of his rifle. Okay, we got version A of Big Tin designed up with his sniper rifle on his back, and then we've got version B of him there with the 6 shooters drawn, and I think that's... Weird things bug me, and it just feels like that one side of his gun is shorter than the other one, so can't have that.
That's fair.
All right.
It did look a little different.
Sitting there with his guns all drawn, ready to go into action. And then we have the leaping version, which I got to find the original art for work for that. I don't know where I stuck it in what folder, because I got too many folders. But so we got 3 designs now. I'll make a graphic. I'll make another poll to put up on the community page. We'll see if anybody votes on it, and we'll take the most popular vote. Or if nobody votes on it, I'll just pick the one I like best, because, all right.
I wonder how much, because I don't work directly with the manufacturers of these things. I haven't yet, I should say. And I wonder how stressed out they get over designs like this, where they're going to have to offset you're going to have to offset him to make it stand upright to be balanced. Or maybe they've got it down to a science by now. I'm curious, because I've seen them like this before, so I know you can do it.
Oh, yeah.
I just have never, I don't know if they put...
I would think if they're good at making the post fit into the base snugly, like if they've got that nailed down, I would think as long as the center of his mass is over the center of that plate and the plate's big enough, it should be fine. I would think. I was seriously considering getting, like, if I did these versions of them where they look like they're leaping, I had almost thought about doing the oval bases and like making them white or doing like a portal image across there, so it looks like they're either jumping in or out of a portal that she cuts all the time anyway. I thought would be a funny little add-on. Maybe not for them just standing there, but for those of them leaping, that might be cool.
Yeah. That's a good idea. That's a
I
good
don't
idea.
know that it would make a whole lot of difference one way or another printing wise, but I got lots of different quotes on them, and I was like, okay, well, all of them will hit within this range at least, so I could price them at this and know that I can cover getting them made. And I'm looking forward to it because I've been wanting to get some of these for a while, and I keep thinking about it but not doing it. And so, thank you for giving me the impetus to get off my butt and do this, especially for these two characters because these characters are going to be showing up for a while. Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. Knock on wood. They'll be showing up in books for a while. I hope so. I don't mind ordering a bunch of extras, even if I can afford it and bring the price down. And because I'm gonna be taking these books to shows for a while. Like I just ordered 500 copies of all the Ka books, and I'm sitting here thinking to myself as I've been working on Alice and planning and stuff and planning out the backer kit, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to order like say 500 of them or if I want to go ahead and order 1,000 because like I know I'll be selling it for a while, and there's always those people that want the first issue over 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and like I had way more issues of Green Zone 1 than I did 2 and 3, and I sold out of Green Zone 1. Even though I had a really good bundle with all of them, I still sold more of Green Zone 1 because there's just more people that want to buy, except the one guy that bought issue 2. I don't understand that. He's just like, I like the cover better. I'm not saying no to a sale. Okay, you can have it. Maybe you'll come back for the rest of it when you struggle to make sense out of what's going on without the rest. I don't know. People are weird.
Yeah, no, I don't know either.
All right. Well, we've been at it for an hour and a half, and my wife's now home. And so I'm going to go see what she brought home for dinner because I can smell something good. And thank you for coming and hanging out, Sarah.
Yeah,
thank you, Jane Man and Katie, for hanging out. And if you haven't already, go back, Granica.
I don't have go back, Granica. I don't have the drawing skills. Like, if I do a live stream, I have to have more people than just me on to like have an interesting stream. So I gotta work on rounding everybody up for another one next week because we have a few. We're doing a couple of promotional things, but somehow there's like nothing scheduled for next week. So I'm like, okay, we gotta figure that out.
Yeah, I've got like some podcasts here and there, but not as much as I usually have booked ahead of time. But also, like, I just been scrambling because I was ordering Ka and I was going to cons and I was doing this, that, and the other, and so I've been having to scramble here and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, you want to join this backer kit thing? And it was too good an opportunity to pass up. But then, like, when I should have been getting stuff ready and to go for Ka, I was setting up a backer kit campaign. So now I'm doing stuff last minute that I should have done like last week.
That's fair. That's fair. But backer kit was so intuitive, right? Like, it was actually really easy. I found the first time I did it, it's so easy to set up. I
was so nervous, but it was a lot easier than I expected.
Yeah.
And went pretty smooth. And all the new features that they've got is a little intimidating for me just because I've never done it before. But it's so cool to be able to like do a live stream and know that it's going to show up on my page, that it can show up on the backer kit page. That's awesome to be able to do that and to be able to make polls so you can vote and see, like, if you go to the community page right now on Alice Lost in Wonderland, like, anybody with a backer kit campaign can vote on, which ones they think we should use for the acrylic standees. and that's awesome. Or which freebies we should release on Friday, because everybody that backed. Where did they go? Where did they go? Like everybody that backed Alice in the first 48 hours got this double-sided poster. One side drawn by me, one side by Mike Watson, and then everybody in the first week gets where did it go? Oh, gets a mini comic, a 16-page mini comic that shows when Alice met Big Ten for the first time. And it's really cool. It's got some funny stuff in it. It's got some gross stuff in it. I was showing J-Man some sneak peeks of one of the characters that's in it, and it's super gross looking. I'm really excited about that. And then I'm going to release a new freebie for the next week. So we got to vote and see what it's going to be. And I think right now they are pushing towards it being the Caw mini comic, which I don't have handy to show you. But anyway.
I gotta look into doing those mini comics. Those sound fun, and I bet people love them.
It is fun. And the nice thing is, if you've got high-res artwork without the lettering, like we use for videos and whatnot anyway, if you've got that, you can even, I got to reuse a lot of artwork from, Green Zone or Caw, and you can re-letter it and put it in new orders and not have to buy so much new artwork. But you could get a lot out of something if you've got enough pieces to work with. And, so I got to make some new, interesting, original introductions to the story, for new people that haven't heard about these stories before, that they could get at a show. And, they're cheap. You could give them away. You could sell them for $1, whatever you want. And they're really great. And, I added a little bit of new artwork because, of course, I'm going to. But I could absolutely see writing a new one out of just, all the parts from Granica that you've got, of them reactions back and forth. You can make whole new conversations and make a whole new bit of story out of that.
Yeah. And I didn't even think about doing that. Didn't even consider it was a thing I should or could do.
And I've got free templates on my Patreon at Mr. Fish Comics on Patreon that you can go check out and download. And I've got videos tagged with them that will show you how I print them and how I lay them out and how I fold it and cut it and staple it the whole 9 yards. And so anyway, it's all there for free, so you don't have to pay nothing for it.
Nice.
If you want to go check it out. Anyway,
I definitely want to go check it out.
Thank you for hanging out with me. I'm going to get off of here and go kiss my wife and eat some dinner. Thank you very much. And if y'all haven't yet, go back Alice and go back Granica.